Hello again and welcome back to Some Climbing News. Got a lot to talk about today. The backlash on Arc'teryx for setting off fireworks in the Himalayas. A 16-year-old who just sent his third 9A plus /515A route. Simon Lorenzi and Dave Graham sending 8C plus V16 boulders and more. So yeah, small reminder to like, subscribe, comment with opinions, all that good stuff. And yeah, start the show.
Reduce, reuse, repair, respect. Rebird invokes it all the paths we can take to lighten our footprint and own our responsibility as we migrate towards a more circular way of doing business.
So, I mean, should we be surprised that the company with the dead bird on it went and blew up half the Himalayas, betraying its core values in the process and simultaneously pissing off almost its entire target demographic for the sake of fireworks? Probably not. Okay, so if you haven't heard by now, the outdoor apparel and equipment giant Arc'teryx recently came under fire, no pun intended, for working with this guy, Sai Kuo Chang, who in what I want to call a fit of hubris decided that shooting a metric shit ton of powder, smoke, and other crap into one of the world's most fragile ecosystems sounded like a pretty good way to honor the area and represent its existing cultures. That's right, no better way to honor a people's sacred site than literally blowing it up. Now, to be fair, the organizers of the promotional project, known as Ascending Dragon or Rising Dragon, depending on how you do translations, have said that the project passed tests in line with those set by the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics and abided by pollution management standards equivalent to those in Japan and Europe, which is why it seems the whole thing didn't further need environmental assessments before it was approved. But you know what would have been better for a fragile ecosystem than coating an entire mountain in biodegradable powder when your whole shtick is about conservation and environmentalism? Not coating an entire mountain in biodegradable powder when your whole shtick is about conservation and environmentalism. Like, I might be wrong, but that just might leave a trace. Maybe, I don't know. This whole project has prompted a large-scale environmental probe that will try to assess the damage. Far more importantly, an incredibly heartfelt apology was posted to the Arc'teryx Instagram account that has fixed absolutely everything. How'd that saying go? Words speak louder than actions, or no? Words speak. The words are loud, or no? The fireworks are loud. So their apology for setting them off is equally as loud and environmentally friendly. That's the message here that we cannot forget. That the company that just did a whole lot of damage to a very fragile ecosystem for a publicity stunt really wants you not to forget that its main goal is to minimize their impact as much as possible. And look, now for real, maybe this is just the cynic in me talking here, but corporations have one goal only, just to maximize profit. So when I see something like this, all it does is show me that the only reason all these environmentally friendly companies do and say the things they do is not because they actually give a fuck about what is happening to our planet, but because it sells. If being environmentally friendly wasn't something that could be sold to people as ethical, then they wouldn't be doing it. And ultimately, what are the consequences to having done this? A couple of people get pissed off at them for a week. Some who really care never buy there again. The vast majority kind of go, oh, that's not good. But we'll have totally forgotten about all of this in a year when they want, a new winter jacket and they walk into Arc'teryx and get one. And then all this reporting on the incident just drives up engagement, and suddenly a ton of people who had never even heard of Arc'teryx now know about it. And we'll keep it in mind for, again, the next time they want to buy something and it's cold outside. Ultimately, a publicity stunt gone wrong, gone right. And an incredibly fragile ecosystem as a potential casualty either way. But hey, gonna pass off the question to all of you. What are your thoughts on all this? Are you gonna continue buying Arc'teryx gear? Are you not? Let me know in the comments down below. And then, so back in the world of kids being better than you at climbing, we have Andrea Chelleris in the news for setting his third 9A plus 515A route, just 16 years of age. Hilariously enough, just because he's 16 and seemingly wants to just keep sticking his finger deeper into the wounds he's created in every climber in the world ever, and just twisting and going nice and deep to make us all squirm. It's all so the second 9A plus that he calls soft. But let's act happy for this kid for a minute while we talk about the total crapola choss pile he just sent. I'm kidding. It's not. It is. No, it's not. This route is called Ultimatum, and it's an article. And it links a whole bunch of other routes, and it's super duper long and has a pretty nasty little two-finger jam crux at the end that nearly made Andrea fall. Which actually, Andrea was mentioning he felt kind of nervous about falling up there, which is both super fair, sport climbing will very much put the fear of God in you, and highly commendable thing to say, because he's 16, and 16-year-olds aren't particularly known for self-preservation, or their proclivity for admitting, when they're scared. And yeah, and Andrea seemingly had been projecting this on and off for about a year, and he managed to send despite feeling tired, or whatever. I'm not sure. Do 16-year-olds even get tired? No, they don't. They don't even know what that is like. Either way, massive congratulations to a kid with huge potential. Like I said, he's only 16 and is already on his third 9A plus, soft or not. That's pretty wild stuff. Don't want to put any undue pressure on him, but man, I'm expecting him to be in the news a lot in the future. And if he's not, just totally fine. Do what you want to do. It's cool. I don't care. But please climb hard. Next, let's talk Michaela Kiersch in the news again, just days after becoming the third woman to ever get a first ascent of a 9A route or above. She has now reported on Instagram that her trip to Rumney, New Hampshire, culminated with a ascent of Livin Astroglide 514C or 8C+, which she did on her fourth go. Because of course she did. Because of course an 8C+ is a consolation prize when your real project, Jaws 2, the hardest route at Rumney, which by the way is 515A or 9A+, doesn't go. So yeah, trip too short to piece together your third ever 9A+, no big deal. Just do a couple grades below. Like, that's nothing. It's totally fine. Because why wouldn't it be? Anyways, congratulations to Michaela on a job well done. Yeah. Can I have beer now? And then I gotta give credit where credit is due. Simon Lorenzi has just sent permanent midnight low 8C+. And I say credit where credit is due, because the dude straight up punted his send literally 2 days ago and just returned to do the whole thing.
Oh no.
Which means he really freaking wanted to do it, because while getting super close on a project can bring psych, falling off the final jug can just as easily kill it. Honestly, the amount of times I've questioned my life choices while on the approach to the project I should have done the previous session is, I've lost count at this point. A lot of stuff that I've just given up on, or that I ticked on in my head and just told myself I'd done when I haven't. Terrible of me. But yeah, second repeat, therefore third ascent of probably one of the best and coolest looking 8C+ V16 boulders in the world, which by the way, there's another line on that boulder that's a direct version that seemingly is a pretty interesting and very hard looking project, which very easily could be the world's next 9A V17. So if we're talking about Simon Lorenzi trying stuff around there, you better believe there's a big chance the dude is going to be trying that project soon. And hopefully sending it. Just, keep him away from libraries. Oh, and just so very casually, this dude mentioned he also flashed Compass North AP plus V14. So, I mean, is that where we're at now? That people are just going to be casually dropping AP plus flashes here, there, and every which where like it's nothing? Dude didn't even freaking take a photo of himself on the boulder. That's not Simon Lorenzi, in case you're blind and couldn't tell. That's Ciara Fabri, okay? And Compass North, it's kind of an interesting boulder when it comes to flashes. Simon's actually the second person to ever do so. He called it soft. Anyways, Daniel Woods being the first to flash, and actually it's almost been flashed by two others, Aiden Roberts, who fell off the jug, and he who must not be named, who also fell off the jug. I'm just kidding, I'm naming that dude. He fell off the jug. It brings me great joy that he did. It was Jules Marchaland, my nemesis. Nothing brings me deeper happiness than seeing that kid fail. I'll talk about his send of Kangaroo Livin a little bit. It was awful, and I hate it. But I digress. Huge congrats to Simon Lorenzi on the double sends, the flash, and the 8C+. Hoping that he'll get on the direct project, hoping he'll give the climbing world a 14th 9A. Next, Dave Graham just can't stop sending stuff. I mean, par for the course. The guy is one of the greatest climbers to ever live. And he's just sent his 7th ever 8C+ V16, Giuliano Cameroni's curveball, which is really not something I saw coming. Haha. Because honestly, I mean, it's kind of a lame looking boulder, just like, kind of uninspiring. A bunch of slopers on a lip that traverses around a corner with a fall that's about like maybe a foot at most. And I'm not knocking short falls. A good friend of mine broke his leg on a shorter one than that once. It was a kind of wild moment. The dude just landed on a rock and his thing just snapped. And honestly messed with my head for years because like he landed on a pad, it was just slightly raised and the angle was like, he just kind of, and then, not the point. Point is, Dave is old and he's still climbing hard stuff at the very limit of bouldering itself, which is incredibly fucking cool to see. Honestly, everyone should read Dave's caption. He praises the absolute crap out of that boulder and he proves yet again that I have no idea what the hell I'm even saying half the time. But seriously, Dave talks about the fact that this boulder is all about subtlety and positioning, that no amount of pulling hard will help you feel better on this thing, and that this particular boulder forced him to learn a kind of patience that he had never had to learn before. And again, the wizard lets us in on his magic. And again, if you listen, his experience might just bring something for your climbing too. Which means if Dave says go find a boulder that makes your hands and feet slip off for literally no reason, literally all the time, then you should go find a boulder that does exactly that too. Because in the wizard we trust. Congrats to Dave Graham on a huge, huge, huge send in Valbavona. And then Marine Thevenet has just sent her third ever AP Plus boulder, Manhattan, Reine, Cantonale. Which is that like 3 languages in one single boulder problem? But what is going on? I'm just gonna have to hope one of you guys in the comments knows what the fuck was on Theo Chapek's mind, or Theo Chapek's mind when he FA'd this bad boy, because I don't even know. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. Anyways, Marine Thevenet is a badass. She was doing a lot just to get to this boulder, reporting on Instagram that once per week she would load 7 crash pads into her car at noon after working in the morning. She'd drive 3 hours, start climbing at 5 p.m., stop around 9 p.m. and return home by midnight. That is not only serious dedication, because she freaking did that 10 times as the boulder took her 10 sessions, but it just goes to show how she must really, really, really have someone out there that loves her. Because she got, at the very least, 6 different people to agree to doing this once. Or more likely a couple people to do this a lot of times. Like, I can't get my wife to join me at the climbing gym that's 20 minutes away from me once a month, let alone have her drive with me for an hour or 2 to a crag. What is Marine doing? Seriously, it's crazy. But anyways, honestly, massive congrats to her. It looks like an incredible boulder. I don't really know what it says about me that I'm looking at this thing and thinking, yeah, fair enough, 5 hours round trip to go up a rock. It's totally worth doing. Right on. Huge congrats to Marine. As always though, links to her socials and all them goodies down there. Okay, so I promised I'd talk about the guy, and so here I am talking about the guy, Jules Marchaland, my boy. He was injured during his trip to Flat Anger, which is honestly a massive bummer as he looked super solid on Kangaroo's dyno. Pretty sure he could have sent had he not done some weird stuff to like a nerve in his back and hadn't gotten the flu or something. Like, the good news is the guy recovered well enough and he had enough in the tank and just enough time to send Kangaroo's Lim 9A plus 515A, which is the indirect version. It goes around the dyno of the as yet unfinished Kangaroo dyno. Which he did, by the way. He did do the move. Now, it seems like he could have done Kangaroo's Limb a day earlier, and on the same day that he also sent Illusionist 9A 514D, but my guy is gaining my respect here. Seems like the rope helped him out a little when he went for the final jug of the route, holding him in place, keeping him from swinging as much, and so, a good climber who can look himself in the mirror, Jules went back next day and redid the whole thing cleanly. My hat's off to you, Jules. Abide by the rules, sir. Well done. And then in Comp World stuff, the World Championships are full swing at the moment. Just a small announcement for what's been going on. The lead and boulder qualifications have come and gone, with a few notable people missing the semifinals. Particularly surprising, Toby Roberts, who did not make semis in lead, but who has just absolutely smashed boulder qualifications, getting 3rd place. If you'd like to watch the semis and finals, lead semis will be held on Friday, September 26th. At 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. in South Korea. So for all the Americans that watch this channel, it's kind of confusing. For you guys on the East Coast of the USA, it's 13 hours behind South Korea, so 9 p.m. on Thursday and 6 a.m. on Friday. And same thing for bouldering semis and finals on Saturday at 10 a.m. in Korea, Friday night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast of the USA, 6 a.m. Saturday for the finals. And we repeat the same thing on Sunday in Korea, Saturday in the USA for men's semis and finals for bouldering. Schedule is linked down below, as are all the results to the qualifications. And yeah, man, very, very excited to see how everyone does. Yanyo's crushing it, as she is one to do. Of course, so is Horato and Raku. And yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys are excited for this one. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks as always for watching. I keep trying to change this show to Monday, Thursday, and that's just, it's not happening. So as you can see, I gave up. Tuesday, Friday it is, which means I will see you guys on Friday at the latest. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, throw in some opinions down there as it helps me bring this show to all of you guys. I will see you again on Friday at the latest, as I said. But until then, and as always, climb some stuff.